And thanks everyone for being on the call here and in our webinar today. And so I'm going to get started here, and I'll tell you just a little bit sort of what we're going to cover today on this webinar. And Jennifer, she alluded to it. I mean, I'm going to talk on sort of the number side of business. Parts of it are going to be a little bit numeric. We are talking about numbers, obviously, but my approach is to make it fun and figure out as business owners how we can make more money out of our businesses. And I think what you'll find on this webinar and what you'll learn will surprise you. And if I do my job, frankly, it'll blow your mind and make you think of your business in a way you've never thought of before. So let's just talk a little bit about what we're going to cover today. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Found Money story, just my background, so you know a little bit about me, how the book came to be, and so you know the backstory behind what I'm talking about here. I'm also going to talk about the survey findings, because as you know, when you signed up, and it was pretty cool, Jennifer had the idea. She's like, we got a good strong membership here, a lot of great ideas, a lot of great people in there. It'd be really nice, on the webinar to sort of find out what's very specific and of concern to them, which you now know when you sign up for the webinar. You got that little link to the survey and you filled it out. So we're going to just talk about those quickly. And there's some really cool things that came out of that. Probably you won't be surprised, but you might be surprised by some of the conclusions we'll draw about it. Then we're going to talk about 5 steps so that this webinar is going to be actionable. So during the webinar, you're going to find out what are the 5 things you need to do to kind of make 2013 your year to create the financial results you want. And at the end of it, I am going to make you an offer. It's a special offer. It's a very inexpensive offer. Just because if you want more information about Found Money, you'll be able to get it that way. And I don't like ambushing anybody ever, so that's why I'm telling you now at the end, just so when I show up you don't feel like you've been duped. But it is really low key, and you'll get a ton of content out of this webinar. And then we'll also have questions at the end, like Jennifer said. So that being said, who is this guy, Steve Wilkenhoff, talking to you? And that's my picture. Highly airbrushed. I have far less hair now, and like everyone's promo picture, I've aged a little bit in there, but that's pretty close to me. If you saw me on the street, you'd know that was me. And my background is, well, let me tell you about a little bit more about just my background. I'm a chartered accountant by training, and so I live in Canada, and a chartered accountant up here is the same as a CPA in the United States. And for years, I had an accounting firm, and I built my accounting firm on the belief that, when I was getting my designation way back when, most accountants, I don't think, were doing what I wanted to do with small business owners, and that was really help them understand their financials. And I decided I was going to go start my own firm, and Steve's firm was going to be different. I was going to sit down with the small business owner, and not big businesses, small businesses. We're talking, in some cases, micro businesses here. And when I went through their taxes and went through their financial statements and worked with them each year, I was going to really explain to them how their business worked and what the financial statements meant. And I did that, and my theory was proven accurate, because business owners really liked that. They started flocking to my firm because, sadly, most other accountants weren't taking the time to do that. And so the practice really started to grow, and it grew quite quickly over several years. And I proudly every year, go through the financials with the client and say, look, here's what would happen. Here's what did happen on your financials, on your profit and loss. Here's what would happen if you changed your revenue and expenses. And then something amazing, as well as really nauseating at the time, happened. And it was the story of Mark and Tracy, as I call it. And I had clients in my office, Mark and Tracy. They were new to me, so this was the first year we were dealing together. And I had just gone through their financials with them, explained their profit and loss, and shown them how, if you increase revenue 3% next year and you shave your cost of goods sold a little bit here, look how much more money you're going to make. And they were really excited. They said, oh, this is awesome. I wish our old accountants had done this. And they said all the things, and they got up excitedly and thanked me, and they went to leave. And as they left my office, I don't know why it happened on that particular day or what prompted me to have that thought, but it hit me like a lightning bolt when I realized I had failed them. Because despite having just gone through their financial statements with them, despite having just explained in detail how they could improve their profit and loss statement next year, they still didn't have a clue And what they didn't have a clue about was how they were going to take what I had just shown them about improving their profit and loss statement and how they were going to apply that afternoon in their business at the place where they lived, which was the customers, the clients, the products, the services, the activities, because that's where they lived day after day, like every business owner. And that really hit me hard because I took it hard because up to then I prided myself on, I've got this nailed down. I'm helping business owners. And when I came up with this realization and hit the wall, so to speak, when I realized that, I really hadn't been doing a good job of giving them tools to create a financial result. I just showed them mathematics. I just showed them how a few percentage changes could make a better profit and loss statement next year. So what did I do? Well, I realized, first of all, that there were a lot of Mark and Tracy's, because the more business owners I started talking to about this, and the more business owners I started saying, hey, you know what, let's talk about your customers and your products and your service and your activities, I realized none of the business owners out there, literally none of them, had this perspective on their business. And again, I'm talking small businesses. I actually had several really big businesses, businesses with multiple millions of dollars a year actually be referred to me and come in and that I thought were successful at the time, and they still didn't have this stuff figured out. And so really, there were a lot of Mark and Tracy's in the world. Now, my passion is small business owners and even micro business owners, and that's where it's fun, that's where we can change lives. But suffice it to say, there's a ton of Mark and Tracy's out there, and you're probably one of them. So that got me doing more and more consulting and trying to develop these consulting systems over and above just being a quote accountant. And I ended up writing a book. The book was called Found Money, and I wrote it really just to use at a seminar that I was giving to small business owners. And then I wrote it, and I thought, you know what, this is a pretty good book. I thought I was going to try to self-publish it. So I went to business gurus that I appreciated, that I had always admired. I went to Michael Gerber of the E-Myth and J. Conrad Levinson of Guerrilla Marketing and Michael Port, who was just becoming a really popular author at that time with Book Yourself Solid. And I guess I had the audacity to email them all and say, hey, I've written a book here. It fits in with what you're teaching and what you guys talk about, but I think your clients need to know this. Will you take a look at my book and give me a quote? And none of them responded, which I expected. And so I kept emailing them and hammering them and emailing them, thinking sooner or later they will, A, phone me up, tell me to get lost, B, have an assistant phone or email me, tell me to get lost, 3, serve me with a restraining order telling me to get lost, or they'll listen to me and get back to me. And they did. In fact, Michael Gerber got so excited when he saw the book, he finally said, just as an aside, okay, send me a copy of your book to get you off my back. And then I couriered it to him, and he's like, this book needs a publisher. He got me in connection with his publisher out of New York, and it's now published with the biggest publishing company in the world. So it got some nice accolades. And again, this isn't, I'll stop right here. The webinar is not about Steve, but I really want you to understand where I came from, because I've been the micro business. When I started my accounting firm, which was a business, I started with 0 clients. July 1st, I started it in the year. I started 1999 was the year I started my very own firm with 0 clients. And most of my accountant friends thought that was nuts. So I've been there. I've built a business. I know what it's like to attract customers. I know what it's like to try to attract clients. And that's why small business is my passion. And so the book got these accolades. And since then, I've been blessed with the opportunity to help share my vision and knowledge with other small business owners, like this webinar here with you guys as NEEP members. So that's the Found Money story. That's about Steve. Now I'm going to stop talking about me, and we're going to start talking about you. So the first thing, let's talk about your survey results and look at what did we discover when we answered the survey. And the first thing we can talk about is this chart here. And I love this question. I ask every business owner I meet this question. In fact, I ask almost every business owner I meet the same series of questions I asked you guys. And thank you for doing that and answering the questions for me. So here's the results. How well do you feel your business is meeting your financial needs, financial goals? And there's the results. Well, roughly 30, call it 32% were extremely unsatisfied. So let's call it a third of you not satisfied at all with your financial goals, how well your business meets them. Now, shockingly, 60% say, well, you're somewhat satisfied with how your business is meeting your financial goals. And what, 5% were satisfied and 2% were extremely satisfied. So basically, 8% of you love the financial goals you're getting, and everyone else is, at best, only somewhat satisfied, and a lot of you are extremely unsatisfied. Now, the good news is I'm not shocked by this result at all. The percentages vary slightly. I could do this with another group, and it might be 62%, might be 58%, but this is there. And the good news is this doesn't matter. In fact, let me step back. This does matter because if you're not satisfied, whether extremely unsatisfied or only somewhat, you're going to find out today there's a really, really good 5-step process to make your financial results better. And the next question was, let's talk about your financial results over the last 3 years. Now, this looks good on the face of it. Okay, well, roughly 40% of you said they were improving each year. Good, that's what we want, right? Financial results should improve over time. They should increase over time. 33% said they were fluctuating from year to year, which, you know, some industries, that's fine. Ideally, as business owners, we don't want our financial results to fluctuate because fluctuating financial results cause uncertainty and fear, and you'll see later on this webinar exactly why financial results fluctuate. And I've even diagrammed it for you, and it's fun. It's only like a diagram of 5 parts, but I think you'll enjoy it. And then 24% of you said they were flat each year. Not good, right? Flat results are better than getting worse, but not much better. So at the end of it, this is okay. Again, not surprising. Now, here's where it gets surprising. Remember the question about your personal income that you've taken out of the business over the last 3 years? Well, less than 10% of you said it's increased. And, you know, 33% of you said it fluctuated each year. Now, here's the mind blow for me. And again, I'm not surprised, but my mind gets blown every time I ask a group this because they answer just like you did. Remember this previous slide? Well, almost 40% of you said your financial results have been improving over the last 3 years for your business, but yet only 10% of you have taken more personal income out of your business over the last 3 years. So a few things about that. Number one, that means that your improved financial results in your business are in many cases coming at the cost of your personal income. Either you're not taking out what you want, or you're taking out even less than you were. You know, you're being the martyr, so to speak. That's one thing. The other thing it tells us is we got to fix that. You know, we got to fix that. If your business isn't making you more money year after year, in fact, look at this one over on the right. Over a third of you, actually your personal income has decreased each year. Then that's not okay. I'm not okay with that. Helping business owners around the world, having a passion for small business owners, I'll tell you right now, I am not okay with that. And I know how to fix it. And you shouldn't be okay with that either. And this fluctuating year to year, and then a third of you results, your income fluctuates every year. I don't know about you, but having a fluctuating personal income is a very hard, emotionally tiring way to live, is it not? Now, if you could answer me, I know you'd be nodding your head, yes. Or if you could answer me, you'd actually be saying yes. Right now, you might be nodding your head. Because a fluctuating personal income, I'll tell you what, my mortgage doesn't fluctuate. My car payment doesn't fluctuate. Your expenses, you know, for your activities that you do, for your children, whatever it is in your life, your expenses are pretty fixed. So fluctuating results in a business are terrifying. And I'm not okay with that, and we're going to fix it for you and show you how you can fix it. And this question, you know, how many times over the last 3 years have you increased your prices of your key products and services? Again, I'm totally not surprised, but shame on every single person who answered this survey. 42% of you, never once in the last 3 years. And, you know, 25% of you, 26% of you, only once in the last 3 years. And it's a bit better twice in the last 3 years, about 30%. But as you can see, no one did it more than 3, and no one did it 3 times. So 100% of you have increased your prices less than once a year. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say, you know what, your expenses have increased every single year, and so you're actually worse off every single year by not increasing your prices. Now, I know what you're going to say. I'm in a tough industry. It's really, really hard to raise my prices. You know, customers will come in. All they care about is price. What I'm going to say is harsh, but it's the truth, and you need to hear it because I'll never mince my words. If you believe that, you need to change your belief because it's not correct. Now, if you don't give your client any other way to buy, then prices are important, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. And our final slide is number of products and services that account for at least 80% of your revenue. And these aren't all the questions, these are just the highlights. So this is the last highlight I want to talk about. So again, almost 40% of us said, I've got one product or service that accounts for 80% of my revenue. And 33% said two. So about 3/4 of us, between 1 and 2 products, accounts for 80% of our revenue. Again, I'm not okay with that, because as you're going to see very graphically in a little bit, when you have more than one product or service, you've got absolute power, like building blocks, to create a financial result that you want and that suits you. And I'm going to challenge you right now to challenge yourself. If you were one of the 40% of the people that said you only have one product or service, or the 33% that said you only have two, you got to challenge yourself and you got to get creative, because I'm willing to bet a lot of money that you only believe you've got one product or service, and that if you actually gave yourself credit for what you do and what you could do in your business and the expertise you bring, you've got way more than 1 or 2 products or services. So that being said, now let's go on and talk about, let's just summarize this. So those are the big slides I wanted to talk about. I didn't go through every single question because that would be a pretty boring webinar. So the big 3 problems, if I had to summarize those slides, number 1, unsatisfactory financial results, either because they're fluctuating, because they're getting worse, or we're just not happy with them. The second big problem that came out of the survey, or the big 3 problems, was there's a difficulty improving financial results, right? I already got one product. It doesn't seem like we've raised prices a lot. So there's clearly a reason we're struggling to do that, and we got to nail that, and we're going to. And the third one is inadequate personal income. Hey, if your income is flat, fluctuating, or decreasing, it's inadequate. Doesn't matter how big or small it is. I'll say that again. If it's fluctuating, flat, or decreasing, your personal income is inadequate, and I'll show you why in a little bit. And so we got to fix that. So those are the big 3 things. Now, the good news is there's some solutions. In fact, there's 5 steps. Remember I said there's 5 things I'm going to cover off here? So now we're going to jump into them. So let's find out. Now, solution number 1, or the first step, is know the true purpose of your business. And as simple as this sounds, please, please, please listen carefully, because this is where most business owners get it completely wrong at the very beginning when they try to create a financial result. So the big question is, what is your business supposed to do? And again, this is one of those questions I ask business owners everywhere I go, all the time. And they'll say things like, well, I want to help people, right? Or in your case, you know, I want to help people with promotional products, or I want to help them with what they need for their embroidery needs. That's all great. That's a common answer. You know, I provide a valuable product or service. You guys do. Your clients line up to buy what you have because they value it. Do what you love to do. This is a big one, particularly in this industry from the people I've talked to. You know, it gives you the flexibility in many cases. You can work out of your house. You can sort of schedule it around your own time if you want. You might have a storefront, you may not, but you can do what you love to do and hopefully make some money at it. Provide employment to your team. You know, a lot of people that I talked to before this webinar in this industry, sole operators, micro businesses, and that's totally fine. Some of you do have a team, and you know, so one of the things my business is supposed to do is provide employment to my team, and you know, I want to be in control of my destiny. That's the other one people say all the time. You know, so these are the things my business is supposed to do. This is what people tell me. Now, the problem is there's a bunch of other things, and it doesn't matter what they are. The problem with all of these things is, guess what? They are wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. I'll even yell it. They're wrong. They are not reasons for your business to exist. They are goals. Right? You want to provide a valuable product or service? Great, that's a goal. You want to provide employment to your team? Great, that's a goal. You want to be in charge of your own destiny? Great, that's a goal. You want to run your business on your terms, fit around your lifestyle? Great, that's a goal. But they are not reasons for your business to exist at all. And this is where 95% of small business owners get it wrong right out of the gate. Because if you don't get this right out of the gate, you're like the Olympic sprinter who trips 3 steps into the race. You fall flat on your face. It doesn't matter how quick you get up. You are not winning that race. The rest of the field has passed you by and will get to the finish line way before you. and you're just going to end up with scraped, bloody knees, bleeding and embarrassed. So the purpose of your business is to make money. That's it. That's the purpose of your business, to make money. Now, I don't want you to think I'm not saying you have to be a mercenary person or you have to be a greedy person, because people will often push back on me when I insist on this and insist they start to internalize this concept. They'll push back and say, hey, wait a minute, Steve. I'm interested in helping people. I know some of you, do embroidery for your, you started out, working for your churches and trying to do embroidery for those groups, and that's all fantastic. But as a business, your business needs to make money. What you do with that money is entirely up to you. You can make a boatload of money and give it all away to people who need it, to a church, to charities. That's perfect, but don't get confused and think your business is supposed to do anything other than make money. That's it. So it's got to make money. Now, I know what you're saying, Steve, that's pretty hardcore. That's pretty mercenary. I'm not sure I can accept that. So let's talk about a few other reasons your business can exist. And sorry, just making sure you're paying attention. There are none. In case you didn't get my point, there are no other reasons for your business to exist. None of them. Your business must make money. That's why it's around. And I'm going to talk about this now. Because it's not just how much money your business makes. Your business really, to be successful, to be sustainable, has to make enough money to fund your dream lifestyle. However you define it. So what do I mean by that? Well, you can have a business, and I've seen them, you can have a business that pays you an awful lot of money, but let's say you're working 70, 80 hours a week. Let's say you can't sneak away to your son or daughter's football, baseball, or soccer game. Let's say you can't take the time to go participate in their school activities because you're chained literally to your business. Well, that is not sustainable. I don't care how much money that business makes. It's not going to serve your dream lifestyle, so that one's not sustainable. So dream lifestyle is a very important concept. So your business needs, let's refresh, your business has to make money. That's its purpose. The natural question then is how much? And the question is however much it needs in order to let you live your dream lifestyle. And if your dream lifestyle is only working 3 days a week and making, pick a number, $30,000 a year, great. Build your business to make that and be happy with it. If you want to work nonstop and make a lot more money, if that truly is your dream lifestyle, great. Go with it and be happy with it. So let's talk about dream lifestyle, because this is a life changer. And I'm not just telling you that. I mean, dream lifestyle is what gives your business sustainability. Because when it's making enough money to let you live your dream lifestyle, you can run that business forever, happily emotionally, happily as an individual. It relates to your life and your family and everything you do. And this sounds pretty out there to a lot of people when we talk about, hey, improving financial results, and this guy goes off on talking about dream lifestyle and everything. But this is critical. I'll guarantee you get this right, you nail your dream lifestyle and define that, you will get so much clarity around your business, and I'll show you in a minute how that works. So dream lifestyle, we're not done talking about that yet because it actually makes a sound. So think of your dream lifestyle for a second. Your dream lifestyle isn't just a number. Your dream lifestyle is a concept. It is something you define. It is a meta model, for lack of a better word. So what goes into your dream lifestyle? Well, there's a bunch of things. Number one, the work. And it's the work you want to do in your business, and also equally important, it's the work you don't want to do in your business. Right? If you're in an embroidery business and you absolutely hate dealing with customers, like interfacing with them, and some people do. You got to be honest with yourself when you define your dream lifestyle. If you absolutely can't stand dealing with customer inquiries and trying to walk them through coming up with, what they want done, and if you would just really rather stay in the back and actually do the embroidery, no problem. Define that to yourself and say, okay, then therefore, how does my business have to look to allow me to do that? So the work you want to do and the work you don't want to do. And equally important, when do you want to do that work? Is it 3 days a week? Is it 5 days a week? Is it only between 9 and 3 and then pick your kids up at school? Define the when. And then define how much money your business has to make to allow you to do only the work you want to do allow you to do it only when you want to, and still be a viable business. And an example is, if you only want to work 3 days a week and you don't want to deal with the customer interface, then you probably have to hire somebody just to deal with that side of it. Could be a part-time college university student, it could be a part-time parent, it could be anything, or it could be part-time employee, whatever you want, but you got to define that and then build it into your financial model, which we'll talk in a bit. Then you got to define the time away from your business. What do you want to do when you're not there? And then finally, the activities when you're not there. So you see, this dream lifestyle concept is a holistic approach to your life, really. And your business, remember, exists or should exist only to make enough money to live your dream lifestyle. And this is how you start integrating your business and the financial results with your dream lifestyle. And as out there as this may seem, if you don't believe it, I don't care. Please just suspend your belief and assume it's correct, because I have dealt with hundreds of business owners and they all come back, almost every single one of them, and they'll say, you know what, the most amazing thing ever was defining my dream lifestyle. When I did that, it changed everything. And it literally did. And we're talking micro businesses, I'm talking really big businesses. It makes the biggest difference for small businesses and micro businesses, because this is what drives it. And so the sound I talk about, look at the letters there. Work, when, or the words, work, when, money, time, activities. So the W, the M, the T, and the A, just take that acronym and you get WWMTA, which is how I try to pronounce it. And I always say that with a little far-off, whimsical smile when I say it, because to me, that's the dream lifestyle sound. So whenever you think dream lifestyle now, think WWMTA. And you can even say it to yourself right now. I won't hear you, but you can say it and people around you will think you're crazy, and it will make you smile. WWMTA. And you'll always remember the things that are important to define in your dream lifestyle. So that was the first thing, the purpose of your business. You got to nail that. It's to make enough money to what? To live your dream lifestyle. Once you've got that figured out, now the natural question is, okay, smarty pants, all right, Steve, I've defined my dream lifestyle. Now I know how much money my business has to make. Now I got to go and avoid a revenue-only focus. That's solution number 2. And again, this is where a lot of business owners get it wrong. Not right out of the gates. That was getting the purpose of your business. This is step 2. So they'll trip up here. So let's talk about it. Now, really, I mean, I say revenue sucks, but I mean, what I mean by that is it's a deceptive thing, right? We all get talking about, oh, revenue is great. I want to grow revenues. I want my business to have X number of revenues. Really, as a measure, revenue is nothing that's important whatsoever, because revenue does not equal money. And remember, the purpose of your business is to make money, not revenue. And it's got to make enough money to serve your dream lifestyle. So revenue does not equal money. What equals money in your business? Well, tongue-in-cheek, I'll tell you, money equals money. Right? I don't care what your revenue is. I can show you businesses that make millions a year in revenue and have nothing in the bank. There's no money there. I can show you businesses that make $60,000 a year in annual revenues and have 40 of that in the bank. So money is what equals money. And when it comes to your business, let's define what money is, because as a business owner, it's 3 things. And this is, again, where a lot of business owners get it wrong. To make money, your business has to do 3 things. It has to have net earnings, which is net profit off the profit and loss. It also has to have adequate positive cash flow, right? That's where you can actually spend physically for yourself and for your bills. And it has to have ROI, or return on investment, meaning your business has to give you enough money back in return for what you've invested in it. And I'm not talking about just your cash investment. Yes, there's that. You've bought equipment. You've stocked up some inventory. You probably have some working capital loans, but you also have your risk capital, right? You maybe have a personal guarantee on your house, your emotional capital. You're taking time away from your family and your spouse, your relationship capital. You're not doing the things you need to do with your friends anymore. Your physical capital. Maybe you're too busy because you don't have a high enough ROI in your business and it's not making you enough money for your time investment, that you don't have time to take care of yourself, get to the gym, relax, and be a whole person. So right that spot in the middle there, where those 3 things overlap, that's where you make money, that little tiny kind of curvy triangle in the middle. And what you need to note here is, look how small that little spot is relative to these big circles. And that's where you're going to make money in your business. So whenever you think of your business or a client or a customer, you got to think net earnings, how much am I going to make on the job, as well as cash flow. Are they going to pay me quick? Are they not going to pay me fast? As well as ROI. How much of my time am I going to put into this? And we'll touch on those in some examples in a few minutes. Now, there's also danger zones, because a lot of business owners think, oh, I got great net earnings. And this is where, remember I said, avoid that revenue-only focus? This is exactly the trap, the danger zone of a revenue-only focus. Because what happens is people say, hey, I got a big job that came in. Man, or here's this client, they want a quote, I'm going to really get some good revenues out of this one. And therefore, the assumption is I'm going to have good net earnings, but maybe I'm ignoring cash flow. And, it's a big job, but they're going to pay me in 60 days. And meanwhile, I've got no actual cash despite having net earnings. Or maybe it's ROI. Okay, well, sure, maybe I'm making good money. Maybe this is a simple job. I can crank it out and be done with it. But maybe it still doesn't generate enough net earnings because it's too small. The other one is cash flow too, right? That's another one. Well, I've got money in the bank, therefore I'm pretty good this month. But you might not be looking at a wreck you've got coming down the road because your sales pipeline has grown dry, and so the net earnings aren't going to be there next month or the month after that. So again, any of these things are danger zones because they pull you away from the spot in the middle and knowing what's truly, truly, truly important, being the three things you need to do at the same time to make money. Now, I'm going to take a sip of coffee because we're going to talk about the third solution, or step number 3 here. And this one, I'll preface it right now by telling you that this step here has the most power to transform your financial results and let you create the financial results you want literally in an instant in your business. And I put together some new slides, and you're the first people actually in the world to see what I'm about to show you. I've talked about Solution 3, harnessing the power of your sales mix, to other groups, but I'm showing it to you in a different way that hopefully is going to really hit you between the eyes and show you how cool this really can be. So, the first thing to realize is your products and services really aren't products and services. They're not ends, they're not things, they're not the be-all and end-all. All they are tools. And tools to create the financial result you want, which, again, remember, was to make enough money to serve your dream lifestyle. So your products and services, you can't be too emotionally attached to them, because then you do things like hold on to them and you don't change how you sell them and you won't change your pricing, and they're just tools. Really at the end of the day, you can have the best products and services that everyone absolutely loves and you can be so proud of, and you should be proud of them, but all that doesn't matter when it comes to making money in your business, because they're just tools to help you achieve that end. Even if you want to give the money away, I don't care. Your products and services are tools to help you make the financial result you want. So let's look at an example here. And we're going to look at some numbers here. Don't tune out. Don't glaze over, because this one is the biggest, hopefully mind-blowing set of slides we're going to talk about today. And we still are talking about numbers and financial results. I try to make it fun and accessible, hey, but we're still talking about numbers. So assume this is your business. It had a revenue of $100,000 in a year. Now that may be lower, that could be higher. It does not matter. Follow the example that I'm about to show you. And your direct costs were $43,960 to leave a gross profit of $56,000. Now I'm not worried about overhead in this example because we're just going to talk about gross profit. So let me define a few of these terms. Revenue clearly is what we got for selling our products and services. Direct costs are the specific costs to generate those $100,000 revenue. So it's going to be buying supplies and materials. It's going to be any direct wage costs if you had to hire anybody or subcontract anyone to do it. And all those costs are subtracted from your revenue, and that leaves you this $56,000 gross profit, which is what you have left over, by the way, to pay your rent, to pay your overhead, pay your utility bill, pay yourself, all those things have to come out of that $56,000. So at the end of it, this 56% right here is how much you make on every dollar of sale. So $100,000, you made $56,000 gross profit then to cover your overhead. Now, this was interesting, and this is where kind of I had that aha moment with Mark and Tracy. I could show you how you can increase revenue and shave your direct cost and we'll make this number grow. But let's take a different tactic and look at it this way. You say, you know what, Steve? I attended your webinar. I get it. I get that my business needs to make enough money to live my dream lifestyle. For 2013, I've defined that to be, I want an extra $10,000 more gross profit because I want that to accrue to me. I want that much more out of my business to pay down some debt, maybe to purchase some new equipment, whatever it is. So how can you do it? Well, traditional thinking, if you'd be so crazy and bored, is to grab an accounting textbook, which please don't ever do that. If you ever do feel the urge to grab an accounting textbook, please email me or even call me and I'll talk you off that ledge, because accounting textbooks are not what you need to run your business well. So, sorry, I'm just being tongue-in-cheek. If you can see me grinning, I'm grinning. But here's how your accountant will tell you to do this. Well, you take that additional gross profit of $10,000, divided by that gross profit percentage of 56%, and you need 17,857 more sales. We'll round that to 18,000. So if you only increase sales by 18% or $18,000 in 2013, you'll make that extra $10,000. Well, that's interesting, but that entirely ignores the power of sales mix. And again, I knocked my head against the wall to make this slide look simple. I'm sorry for all the numbers on it. It's not hard. I'll talk you through it. So it looks like a bunch of numbers, but we'll have a lot of fun with the slide here. So just bear with me on this one, and I will tell you how cool this really is. So imagine now, remember I said your total sales were $100,000? They break down here. You have product A, product B, product C, and product D. I know what you're saying. Those are the most creative names you have ever seen for examples of 4 different products, and I thank you for telling me how creative that is. Again, I'm smiling if you could see me. Price of product A is $100, margins $40, and 40%. So this is just your sales mix now. So if you did this in your business, if you took your products and services and broke it down by this and said, last year, 2012, how much did I sell revenue-wise product A? What did it cost me? How about product B? What did it cost me? And so on. You would get the sales mix. Now, here's what's kind of cool. There's a trap in that, because remember when I said 56% was that gross profit that was on your financial statement? That's what would have shown up on your profit and loss statement. The problem is 56% doesn't really exist in the real world where you live as a business owner. Oh, it exists on your financial statement. It exists on your profit and loss. Remember, 100,000 revenue minus the 40, whatever it was, $46,000 in direct cost, left us 56,000 gross profit, which was 56% mathematically. But when you look at your sales mix, you're never, ever, ever selling anything for 56% gross profit. You're either selling above it or below it. So look at this sales mix again here, right? There's no 56% here. You either have product A, which you're selling at 40% margin, which is below that 56%, which is simply an average, or you're selling products that are much higher percentage-wise, right here, but lower volume. And I would venture to bet this is most of your businesses. And if this is an absolute gift. An absolute gift, because you've got so much power to improve your financial results right here. So let me step back. That 56% on the gross margin, on your profit and loss that I said doesn't really exist. Well, everything you sell in this example, everything you sell, product A, B, C, and D, is either going to be above or below that. That means there's 2 possibilities. So remember, our example is to refresh you. I wanted to make $10,000 more gross profit, so I would have that to spend. And when I divided it by 56% in traditional accounting thinking, I only needed 18,000 more sales. And I say only tongue-in-cheek because that's a big, big number. That's like, it's hard to increase sales 18% in a year. But there's 2 possibilities now. The first one is, guess what? Suppose you manage to grow your sales by that $18,000. Remember, 10,000 divided by 56 told us we need 18,000 more sales. So I do that. I go out and I do the best marketing ever. And let's be crazy and assume I don't even spend money to do the marketing. I just grow my business 18%, so I make $18,000 more revenue. And the extra volume comes in, and I do it, and it's all product A, and I bust my hump, and guess what? At the end of the year, I still don't make the extra $10,000 I wanted. Why? Because product A, remember, 56% gross margin was the average for my business. Product A only gives me 40%. So $18,000 times 40% is, I don't know what that is, it's like 8,500 bucks or something like that. So I didn't make the 10,000 I wanted. I'm still short, and I blew myself up and was $18,000 more activity, right? Because if I divided the 10,000 I want by the 40%, the actual gross margin of product A, I actually got to goose my sales by 25,000 bucks, not 18. But I ran myself into a trap and ran myself astray by listening to an accountant and looking at a profit and loss statement and taking that 56% gross profit, which was simply an average. So bang, I got 18,000 more sales and I still didn't make it. And guess what? I'm going to say sales have never been higher. However, I still can't seem to make the money I want. My competition is bad. My customers won't let me get aggressive on pricing. I'll make all the reasons because I really don't understand what happened. And this is what happened right here. The other possibility is you focus on your products B, C, and D, which have gross margin above that 56% average. And then you find out I only need to grow sales by 12,500. Easier than 18,000. Still not easy, but easier. All right, and the fourth solution is to avoid the taker mentality. And let's talk about this and exactly what I'm talking about here. See, most business owners, they end up thinking like a taker. And what I mean by that is they work in their business, they put their emotions into their business, they put their capital and their time and their effort into their business, and then they take what the business will allow them to take. Oh, you know, I hope I can take a bit more money to buy a car. Or I hope the business will let me take enough money next year so I can help send my kids to school. And things like that. And that's being a taker. And if that's your mentality, thinking like that, the only thing that you can take is a fall, because it just doesn't work like that. You'll always play second fiddle to your business if you put yourself behind it. So here's how that looks like graphically. I like to say you're doing an S-Rever, and being super creative, S-Rever is simply the word reverse spelt in reverse. And so what you see is most business owners do this. We go out and we get some products and services. I'm an embroidery business, so I'm going to go out and try to sell some jackets and some embroidered jackets or caps or whatever it might be. And once we've got that, then we go out and we try to get some customers to buy our stuff or our products and our services. And we combine those with activities, both to get customers and to create the products we've sold and get them out the door and so on and so on. And at the end of it, once we've done all that stuff, we ask a question saying, what are the financial results that I created? And we're always disappointed. And I'll draw your attention to the S at the end of financial results. Because remember, beginning of this webinar, when one of the things in your survey was that people said, we've got fluctuating financial results and my personal income fluctuates every year. The reason that happens is right here. Because as long as you deal with your products and your services and your customers and your activities, and you just do stuff on that end of the business, and then be a taker and hope the financial results will let you take what you want, you'll get financial results. They'll be all over the map. And really, you don't have a clue what you need to do in your business to create a specific financial result in this model. Yet this is how 95% of the businesses out there do exactly this. So how should you do it? What's the right way? Well, I already talked a lot about your dream lifestyle. And remember, the what, the when, the work, the when, the money, the time, and the activities. Well, you got to define that thing. That's why I beat up so much on it, and that's why I kept going on about it so much. Because I'll tell you something. Once you define your dream lifestyle using those 5 criteria, you can then identify the financial result. And notice now I emphasize the T because the S is gone. In the previous slide, we had financial results, many of them, all over the map, uncontrollable. I tell you this, your dream lifestyle changes everything. Once you've got that nailed down, once you've defined that, it becomes crystal clear and laser focused what one specific financial result your business has to create for you. And once you've got that clarity, you've got a huge gift, because now you can look at the combination of the activities, the products and the services, and your customers in your business. And you can look at all the different ways you could assemble them, because remember, they're just tools and just building blocks. And you can assemble them in the way that's going to give you the business model that gives you the financial results to live your dream lifestyle. and take a very close look at the direction of the arrows in this slide here, right? The other one started with over here, and then we threw it backwards and said, what were the results? Here we're saying, what's my dream lifestyle? What one result do I need to get to live my dream lifestyle? And then based on my customers, product, service, and activities, what's the business model got to look like to serve that financial result to me? And then therefore, that defines what I have to do with my customers and my products, my services, my activities. How many of them do I need? How do I have to price them? How do I have to sell them? What activities do I need to combine to get what I want to get? Now, solution 5 is disaggregate your thinking. And this one's a lot of fun, and really it's amazing how much power disaggregating your thinking will give you in your business. So I like to start off by summarizing this little quote that I've created. Aggregation equals aggravation. And you know exactly what I mean, or you felt it in your stomach intuitively if you've ever looked at your financial statements, ever looked at your profit and loss statement, looked at it and said, oh man, I got to increase my revenue. My sales just aren't high enough to give me what I want. I have to increase my sales. And then you've gone out and tried to do a bunch of things. You've paid for marketing. You've tried different advertising avenues. You scratch your head. You try different networking events. And you still can't quite get the financial result you want. And you become so frustrated by your business to the point where you start thinking, I just can't make the money I need to be my business. I better start peeling back my expectations. And that's simply a system of the aggravation created by aggregation in your business. So think about this, your profit and loss statement or your financial statements, anything you look at historically when you look at financial statements for your business, look like this. You've got revenue, it subtracts direct costs, that gives you gross profit or how much you have left to cover your overhead, and that gives you your net earnings. Right? That's how your profit and loss statement is set up. Now, cash flow in your business, if you measure it, is just cash in and cash out. It's really not hard, is it? That's cash flow. Hopefully you have some sticks around. More flows in than flows out. And your return on investment is simply your net earnings over your investment. If you remember your capital, your emotional capital, your relationship capital, your time, your actual hard cash that you have into it as well. And that's your return on investment, or ROI. But here's the thing. Net earnings and cash flow and investment are defined this way, but that's not really what they are. So let's look at revenue for a minute. Well, revenue is a combination of things. It's your customers, it's your products, and what products your customers buy each time from you, and how often they buy from you. So look at that slide. When you look at revenue on your financial statement, it is an aggregated number, and it's simply the product of these three things: how many customers you have, what they buy from you each time they buy, and how often they buy. Now this is disaggregating your thinking. This is powerful because, the previous example where I said, look, let's increase our revenue by maybe 18% to increase it by $18,000. That's frankly impossible to do for the vast majority of business owners because it's an aggregated number. That's like saying, oh, I would like to lose weight and feel better. Well, it's great, but it's just a wish. You can't act on that wish. You have to break that down and say, therefore, that means I have to eat less, I have to exercise more, I got to get better sleep. All those things is how I would lose weight and feel better. Just like your revenue, you can affect how many customers you have. You can affect how often they buy from you. You can affect what they buy from you and how you price your products and services when they do buy. And at each of those three levels, because we've disaggregated it now, you can identify specific activities that you can do that will create the actual revenue you want. So instead of trying to increase revenue by $18,000, you're going to take it to the point in your business through disaggregating your thinking where you're going to be able to say, I need 4 more customers like customer A, and I have to sell, on average, each of my customers this product basket. And I need my customers on average to buy from me 0.6 times a year or 1.6, whatever is right for you to give you the business model, to give you the financial results, to give you the dream lifestyle. And direct costs are the same thing. They're not a number. I mean, we write checks for them, yes, and they're cash out. But what creates direct cost in your business is the combination of your customers and your products and your services and the activities you combine. those give you direct costs. So if you want to reduce your direct costs, therefore increasing your gross margin or gross profit, you've got to look at your customers, products, and activities. Disaggregated thinking again. And overhead again. It's not rent, it's not utilities, it's not salaries. It's every overhead expense item is created by your customers, your products, and your activities again. Think about any expense you have as overhead. Utilities. Well, it's largely created by you need a certain facility and you have to have customers and you have to have products and you need activities. Anything you have in your business is created by these three things. And if it's not, any expense is not, then it's just a frivolous expense. So again, disaggregated thinking. So to summarize it, no matter what you look at in your business, the money, remember, the net earnings, the cash flow, and the return on investment, those three things you had to do all at the same time and have them overlap to actually make money. All three of those things are created by your customers, your products, services, and your activities. So if you look there to those three things and treat those as your building blocks, you can do two things. One, you can identify how you're getting whatever financial result you've been getting that you haven't been happy with, and you can identify how you're going to reassemble these options and these building blocks to give you the financial result you want. So let's look at a quick example. Not all customers are created equal. And let's take a quick look. There's customer Smith, customer Wesson. They both buy the exact same amount a year from you, $1,250. Now Smith, you make more money on. You gross $875 compared to the $775 you make when you sell to Wesson in a year. So you say, you know what, I've got it covered, Steve. I attended your webinar. I'm familiar with these concepts. I'm going to jump in here. So I'm going to go and find 5 new customer Smiths, because that's going to make me an extra $4,375 in gross profit. Remember, $875 times 5. So Smiths, 5 of them are going to give me $4,375, because I know by looking at those numbers, Steve, that if I get 5 new customer Wessons instead, I'd only make $3,875. So I'm better off. I'm going to chase those Smiths. That's the ticket. But remember, the purpose of your business is to make money, enough money to serve your dream lifestyle. So you have to factor yourself in and your dream lifestyle cost in whenever you're thinking about your business, so you start thinking the right way. So think about this. What if each of your customer Smiths consumed $300 of your time? So let's assume that you needed to make $100 an hour for the amount of time you actually want to work in your business in order to serve your dream lifestyle, to get that whoomp done. And so $100 an hour is what your business has to pay you. It takes 3 hours of your time, so that's $300 of time cost relative to your dream lifestyle. Now what if each Wesson only took $150 or 1.5 hours? Well, it gets really, really interesting now, because when you factor in that price, that $300 per every Smith client you have, that you're not paying yourself, so you're not making it for your dream lifestyle, but it's a hidden cost, well, those 5 new Smiths then would actually only create $2,875 in earnings relative to your dream lifestyle. And 5 new Wessons would create $3,125 relative to your dream lifestyle. So now suddenly the Smiths aren't looking so good. Maybe the Wessons are who we should chase. But get ready for your stomach to do a big flip-flop. You might even feel nauseous when you see what's about to happen, because Smiths are even worse than they look right there. Because the real question here, if you were willing to invest $1,500 of your time, remember $300 per Smith times 5 Smiths, so you were going to invest that $1,500 to go find 5 new Smiths, what else could you do with that $1,500 investment? Well, you could get 10 new Wessons. Remember, each one of those only took 1.5 hours of your time compared to the 3 hours for the Smiths. Remember? So what does that mean to us? Well, that means then, if we went out and got 10 new Wessons, we could have made $7,750 in extra gross profit for that same $1,500 investment. Instead, we got bamboozled and waylaid by just that one snapshot, chased the Smiths, and we actually have a lost opportunity at $3,375. And here's what's stomach churning about that. You will never see that $3,375 on any single financial statement you or your accountant ever look at. It's not on your profit and loss statement. It's not on your balance sheet. It's nowhere. It certainly isn't in your bank account. because it's a lost opportunity, and you lost the opportunity because you didn't look at your customers from a disaggregated way. So what's next now? I mean, there's through a lot of things that 5 things. It comes pretty fast. So I want to give you 4 action steps that you can take at the end of this webinar to start to give yourself control over the financial results you create for 2013. So the first thing I want you to do right after this webinar, hopefully, or sometime within the next 24 hours, define your dream lifestyle. And don't just fluff it off and say, oh, you know, I want to make $100,000 and no, do the WWUMTA. Draw each one of those words out on a piece of paper and define them as specifically as you can. And then start to challenge yourself to think sales mix, not revenue. In fact, go a step deeper and start to analyze your business and figure out what your sales mix was for 2012. And I can kind of hear what you're thinking. You're going to tell me, you know what, Steve? My accounting system isn't set up to give me that information. I just track it all as one item in QuickBooks or in Quicken or whatever you're using. The good news is it doesn't matter because there's ways of still getting your sales mix. The bad news is it's going to take you a little bit of effort. But really, I don't care if it's not in your accounting system. Most small business owners I first come across and first start dealing with them when we work through the found money ideas and the processes don't have their accounting system set up to track this stuff. So what do? Well, pull your invoice book or your stack of invoices from 2012. It's going to take you some time, yes, but it's going to be one of the best investments of time you can make in your business to start creating the result you want. And actually go through your invoices on a spreadsheet, in Excel, or even on paper if you have to, and write out, okay, I sold this invoice 3 of product A at this price and 4 of product B at this price. Next invoice. And you keep doing that because you need to drill into your sales mix. If you don't do that, you're going to be shooting blind. And then disaggregate. Start to think of your business, your revenue, and your expenses around your customers. How many of those do you have? How often do they buy? How much do they buy each time? And once you've done those 3 things, then I want you to go out and start to create the financial results you truly want in 2013. Now, I know it does seem a little bit complicated, and one of the things that I've been beat up a little bit, frankly, over the last few years is, you know, the Found Money book, people love it. They read the book and say, hey, that's great. What else can I do to get that into my business? And then I've always just done Found Money consulting was the answer. And a lot of small business owners, they can't afford the Found Money consulting and the one-on-one consulting. So I was challenged to come up with a solution for every single business. And I'm proud of what we did, and we did come up with a solution. It took a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of investment, frankly, like a lot of investment, but it's so worth it. And now you're going to get the benefit as an NNEP member. Jennifer and I decided to make you guys a special offer. A week ago today, there was a worldwide launch of the Found Money membership site. So for the first time ever, now every small business owner in the world can get access to Found Money tools and articles and resources and videos and audios and even calls with me at a super low price. And this is what the website looks like. So you come in, there's the shot here. Just, you know, there's my smiling face again. But what's more important is what's behind my smiling face and what you actually get as part of the membership site. So every month we have live group coaching and tutorial calls. And every month there's a new Profit Pitbull newsletter that has articles and ideas and exercises to help you make even more money in your business. There's also a video training archive so that you can go watch videos on all sorts of different topics about your business and how to make the money you want and how to analyze your business. There's also a fantastic resource library of exercises and tools and articles that you can use, again, to figure out how your business is giving you the financial result you're getting, the one that you don't like, and how you can change it and get the result you do want. There's an audio archive so you can listen to a number of interviews between me and guest experts. You can even download them if you want on your iPod or your MP3 player so you can listen to them on the go. There's also a members only forum where you can interact with other Found Money members from around the world and me, ask questions, get answers, ask people what other things they're doing to get ideas of what works in different industries and other areas and just weigh in. And it's real community that we're building here. And one of the things I'm most proud about is the weekly workouts. So every week there gets posted a new weekly workout. And a weekly workout is simply, one of the problems we have in our business is we know we should be spending time trying to plan it and trying to think about how to make it better, but we just don't because it's too hard to come up with stuff to think about, and we get caught down in the day-to-day. It just drags us down. So the weekly workout, it's only 4 or 5 pages, comes out every week, and it's, 4 or 5 pages. It's like, look, here's a topic. It's written by me. I'll tell you a little bit about the topic, describe it. Here's why it's important. Here's what we're going to do. And then there's some exercises. 2 or 3, maybe 4 exercises in there. And the whole thing is designed, you read through it, you crank through the exercises in an hour, maybe 2 hours tops. And if you have team members, you grab a copy, you give it to your team members on a Friday, and you sit down with them on Monday, and you all do it together and use their brain power as well. And if you're a solopreneur, you don't have any employees, same thing. Print the thing out on a Friday, Monday, for 2 hours, you block out the time and you work through it. And what you're going to find is you're going to focus on the right things in different ways every single week. So it's like going to a gym and working out. You're going to get stronger and stronger mentally and physically when it comes to your found money thinking, and your business is going to really, really improve. And there's always a new stream of new financial thought leadership. I mean, this is cutting edge stuff. So there's just a sample of what the Profit Pitbull newsletter looks like. There's a sample of a partial page from the audio archives. Again, here's just a sample of some of the I think there's like 12 or 13 different videos on there. These are only the first 3. Again, a portion of the page of all the resources, but you can see right there some of the things we're talking about today, customer profitability analysis, product profitability analysis, triple overlap. I mean, this stuff is done for you and templated for you, and the tools are there, so you don't have to figure out how, you just have to go do. And here's a sample of the weekly workout page. Now, how much is it going to cost? Well, when it's fully out there in the world, we've priced it at $97 a month. Now, however, it just opened up a week ago. We're adding members daily now. And so right now, Jennifer and I talked about it. Because you're an NNEP member, we want to make you an offer of becoming a charter member in the Found Money membership site. And it's $49 a month. And here's the key. It's not an introductory offer of $49 a month. It's $49 a month for as long as you want to remain a member. You sign up today, and we'll show you the link after, or you sign up as an NNEP member. As a charter member, you know what? You're going to pay $49 a month for the next 30 years if you want to be a member that long, and we believe you will. And again, you can cancel at any time, and there's even a guarantee on top of that. If you sign up and you don't like it, you can cancel it anytime within the first 3 months, and you'll get a full refund of the membership fees you paid. So, A, it's a great deal. B, it's a fantastic membership site with the content is unequaled in the world, I'll go out and say. So pat myself on the back. There's nothing else like this anywhere. And it's cheap and it's guaranteed, so you can't lose unless you sign up. Or if you don't sign up, this is the only way you can possibly lose. So again, if you are interested, there's the website. Go to masterofmoney.com. The hyphens in there, master-of-money. And on there, you're going to find more details about sign up. There's a link to go sign up right away. As soon as you sign up for the membership site, bang, you'll get the email instantly saying, hey, here's the site, here's your user, here's your password. You can sign up and you can actually be on the membership site 5 minutes from now, enjoying the benefits and cranking out your business. So that is the webinar. And, we're going to ask some questions. We kind of ran out of time here. So if you want, you can always email questions to Jennifer, and she can pass them to me. You can also email me directly, and I'll even give you my email. It's steve@foundmoneycfo.com. That's steve@foundmoneycfo.com. And I'm happy to answer your questions, and I'm really, really glad you took the time out of your day to be on our webinar for NNEP members. And please, give yourself the gift, take advantage of this opportunity, and go sign up and become a charter member of the Found Money membership site. And man, you're just going to start rocking it and making money like you deserve to make in your business. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day.